Money Heist Season 1, great show overall. I definitely do recommend. You should definitely watch it. Forever's watching. The professor, he leads a team of people to rob the Spanish mint in Spain where they print money. That's overall of what they're trying to accomplish. It starts out Tokyo. Her mom's about to turn her in. That's the main thing. Everyone in the show really has city names because they don't want to really reveal their actual names. And that's the main thing. But the professor really has a plan for everything. So he's also planned for if their names got leaked, anything like that. So that's the main thing. Berlin, he's also another character. I didn't really like them much. Rio, he's okay. Raquel, she's the other police inspector negotiating with the professor the whole time. Denver, he's a very likable character. Nairobi, Helsinki, and Moscow, which he's Denver's dad, and he's also like everyone in the show has some sort of skill set they're really prone to. So Moscow, he's more of a like digging. He's worked in a mine for numerous years and also was some sort of career criminal. Helsinki, I don't really know. And also Oslo, who he doesn't really talk that much throughout the show. I think both of them are more like muscle heads and more of like career criminal type. I don't really know. Nairobi, very good skill set of, actually her skill set was fake counterfeit money, so really with writing down the different codes and the things on the money so it's untraceable, things like that. Rio, he's more of a tech whiz throughout. Sometimes it might get complicated with him. Denver, like he said throughout the show, he really didn't have that much to do. He didn't really have that much of a skill set. Berlin, he's more of like the leader of everything. In Tokyo, like I said earlier, she's more of like has done a heist with her boyfriend before, but he ended up dying in the heist, so there's kind of more conflict with that overall throughout the whole show. Very good show overall. I definitely recommend. For the first episode, this is what Netflix says. The professor recruits a young female robber and 7 others, which she actually stops her when she's about to get kidnapped. Actually, I mean, when she's about to get arrested, and her mom actually called the police on her, but she didn't know it. But the professor stuck it out even before that, and it's pretty good. And then episode 2. The hostage negotiator Raquel makes initial contact with the professor. One of the hostages, crucial part of the thieves' plans, which Allison Parker is a student there. So there was actually when they were about to rob the bank, there was a field trip that day, and they were actually planning to go on that day, and it ended up being they planned on purpose so they could have leverage when negotiating. There was money already in the place, but that wasn't really their main objective of it. And at first they go out and they have to go shoot at the cops to like try and make distractions of everything. But then actually one of them actually wanted the cops, so it really the whole thing is try to gain the public's favor. That's the main thing throughout the show that they're trying to accomplish. That's the main thing that's going on, and I feel like they do a pretty good job of that throughout the show. Seems like the public have a very public perception of them and really like them. And that first 2 episodes, I give episode 1 probably a 9.5 out of 10. Episode 2, I'd say 9.6. A lot of negotiation, a lot of different action scenes. The hostages definitely do get kind of weird at times. I feel like Monica, I did like. Arturo, he's the worst hostage throughout everyone. He's absolutely annoying. And he really doesn't do that much. And he seems to turn at every side when everything's happening. Episode 3, police grab a face of the robbers. Raquel is suspicious of the gentleman she meets at the bar. So she meets the professor at the bar, and it really gets interesting when that happens. I feel like, why is he going and meeting the professor? Why is he meeting Raquel at the bar when he could easily get caught? But he doesn't seem to. And they get Tokyo and Rio's face. They post them, and his family later actually sends a message to him to pretty much surrender. And they've known before even that if any of them surrender, that the judge can't promise them like a sentence. They promise them 2 years or they'll get no prison time at all, which no judge would unless they got a presidential pardon. Episode 4, I'd give episode 3 probably a 9.5 out of 10. Episode 4, Raquel suffers a personal crisis with her ex. The hostages are frightened by the gunshots they overheard. The thieves argue among themselves, which in episode 4, Raquel is actually told to be executed for actually stealing the phone, and she's actually pregnant. That's been some of the main storyline through her, and she's pregnant with Arturo's baby. And Arturo said at first he didn't really want the kid, but now he did want it later on. It's kind of confusing. He goes back and forth sometimes, but that's been the main thing. And then Denver actually shoots her in the leg and takes her to another place. So I'd give that episode probably a 9.7 out of 10. One of the better episodes throughout. It really causes a lot of confusion with the hostages and everything. Episode 5, the thieves let a medical team enter the Met. An undercover cop policeman sneaks in with them. Can the professor stay one step ahead of Raquel? Which, in this one, they'll let a medical team in. They really have to, because one of the hostages got shot, and they were going on top of the roof to really, like, let Denver's dad in Moscow get some air, and one of the hostages got shot when he was standing on top of him like an idiot, not getting down. That was the main thing that happened, and they actually sneak a camera into one of the cops' glasses. That's been the main thing. Also, this show, I was kind of surprised about the timing. I would say the timing and the pace of the show is very good. At first, I was kind of unsure of making. It's about 9 or 12 days in prison and throughout 2 seasons. I was like, how are they going to do 2 seasons of this? But they found a way to make it work, and I really liked it overall. Episode 6, Monica's condition worsens. The professor enjoys the spoils of his latest tricks. Rio is disturbed by the news he sees on the television, which his mom and dad reach out to him, say they're disappointed. He's thinking about surrendering, and Monica she's not really getting that much better. It's really hurting a lot. But then she involves a romantic relationship with Denver. Kind of interesting, because they later say that she might have Stockholm Syndrome, and they think about calling her Stockholm because everyone's named after cities. Episode 7, a break in the investigation and a mistake by one of the thieves puts the professor at high risk of being discovered. Which, it really does. I feel like overall, one of the thieves, Helsinki, he was given €1,000 to actually destroy a car that had some of his prints on it and some of the other people. So he had to go and wipe the whole car down. So they couldn't get the prints, but he actually leaves a button behind when he's doing that, which is Berlin's, and he has all their stuff like in this thing, and really like in different files so he could use it later. But Berlin's one of the worst characters. He really doesn't respect anyone. He doesn't like the hostages at all. He really treats them like that, and I'm pretty sure he has like narcissistic tendencies. That's what it says, and is a psychopath pretty much. That's really what his description is. And there's actually a surprise in season 2, which I might talk about tomorrow or maybe the next day. I don't really know when the next video is gonna come, but he's in the back of a van, the professor. He's at the truck lot he's at the pretty much a junkyard trying to get into one of the cars. Some guy sees him. He speaks Russian. He sees him and tells him get out of here, or he's gonna pretty much call the police. He comes back again but sneaks in with some bolt cutters, gets in. He wipes it down. Then he hears the police coming because they somehow find it as well. He gets in back in one of the trucks, swipes like all this stuff on his face, and then as he's about to leave, he actually gets caught by the police, and they say, hey, stop, and he's actually dressing as a homeless man, and then he pisses himself. But Raquel's kind of like, is that him? So then she actually later realized it was him, and that's pretty insane because it was a very close call, and it gave him a very good risk of being discovered. But later on, the Russian guy goes in, and he's really about to put the professor's identity at risk, because Raquel has seen him because they went on a date, or are gonna date. They've seen each other at this restaurant they keep going to, and not a good idea by the professor, because she could easily know who that is, and that's the one thing. And after that, he threatens them speaking Russian and saying that he's gonna kill the mom and his kids. Episode 8. I would give episode 7 probably 9.6 out of 10. Episode 8. Tokyo catches Allison chatting with Rio and confronts her. The police suspect is a spy in their midst, which they don't really know. They accuse each other of being rats, and it really doesn't go well after that. And it really just adds a lot of confusion. Raquel accuses her partner, who she's known a lot of time. They may have had romantic in the past, had an affair together. And Allison, that part was just so weird. I don't even want to talk about that. That part was very strange. She randomly just kissed her out of nowhere, and that was just the main part. Episode 9, the professor raised to stop witness from identifying, like I said, and Berlin seeks revenge in his own name and is revealed and slandered in the press. So they pretty much accuse him of trafficking women and children because there's too much public praise to them. So that's what really happens. It really does affect it a lot. I feel like overall, some of the public kind of wanes on them just because of that. Before that was very positive just because they're robbing from the bank, not robbing from anyone else. Kind of like the Robin Hood type style. I would give that 9.5 out of 10. Episode 10, Raquel enters the Mint to assert that all of its hostages are still alive, and Roby gives Allison advice, which she gives her advice to really stand up for herself and not really act like, because she was getting bullied before. And Raquel, they really do that time to distract her even more and try to just not let her find ways to really get the one up on him. I'd give that 9.2 out of 10. I don't really like that episode. Kind of stolen overall and took too much time. Episode 11, Angel and Raquel question each other's loyalties. Monica makes a move on Denver, and Rio is faced with a difficult decision, which his difficult decision was to really give himself up or surrender or not, and he decides not to, and overall that's for the better. But the loyalty part, they really question each other's loyalty, and something actually crazy happens at the end. Angel gets in a car accident, that's the main part. Arturo continues to formulate an escape plan with a group of hostages. The professor reveals who gave him the idea for the heist, which it's his dad. He was sick throughout it, and that's kind of a surprise. Him and Raquel are actually sleeping together in this episode. They go on a date, some sort of date. I would give that episode 9.5 out of 10. Episode 13, but he does. This is the part where they start worrying. He's not really calling back. A lot of stuff is going wrong. They think about entering several times, and I feel like that's been really the part. He gets distracted throughout these last few episodes. Episode 13, the professor meets Raquel's mother under stressful circumstances at the Mint. The thieves are offer the hostage a decision, money or freedom, which they take the people who want the freedom downstairs away, which they didn't tell them that. They later figure that out, but they try to build an escape in season 2. I'll talk about that tomorrow. But Raquel, he visits Raquel's mother, kill her, because Angel sends a message on voicemail. On voicemail, he doesn't realize that first, but she writes everything down. She forgets easily, and she writes everything down, and she wrote down a message that was saying that the cider guy is the professor and all this other stuff. So he tries to put poison in her coffee, but then he throws it at the wall. But she thinks that she dropped it for some reason. I don't really know why, but the main thing about that, I'll give that 9.2 out of 10 as well. Very good episode, and he doesn't end up killing her because he realizes she can't really remember anything, just rips it up, and also deletes the voice message. But Berlin is really ridiculous throughout these episodes. He really acts like he owns everything and pretty much bosses everyone around, uses Helsinki and Oslo to really enforce his muscle. I feel like he doesn't really do a lot. He's kind of annoying throughout, and that's the main thing. Here are character rankings, and Roby, I'll give her a 9.6 out of 10. Very funny, entertaining, serious, not really that many flaws. Tokyo, I'd say an 8.9. Not higher end of a character, but some of these other characters might get high ratings. Berlin, I would give about a 2. He's a horrible character. I don't like him at all, and he's just annoying throughout. I don't think anyone else likes him. Professor, I would give him an 8.6 out of 10. He kind of gets dull at points because all he ever talks about is like planning his next move. Denver, he's funny, 9.9 out of 10. Helsinki, 9.8 out of 10. Monica, 9.2 out of 10. Alice, I would say 9.1. And Arturo, I would give him 1. He's absolutely horrible. Moscow, he's a 9.9. He's a goated character. And Oslo, he's a 9.7. Goated character as well. But that's at me my end. That's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. And do you recommend any other shows? This is a great show. I recommend it. I'll give my final rating for the whole series 9.8 out of 10. Very good show. One of the best shows I've seen in a while. And I definitely recommend it. The one show I'm waiting for, 2 on Netflix. Hopefully comes soon. Squid Game Season 2. Another international show. International market is killing it right now. And the US really needs to catch up. And I feel like that may be the one thing that Netflix has advantage on. They have a lot of successful international shows out right now. But goodbye and see you later. Do you want me to review Money Heist Korea once I finish Money Heist, all my reviews on it? I'm on season 3 right now, episode 3. Probably tomorrow, expect another Money Heist episode. Maybe not though, episode or season 2 review.